Hallo miteinander, I'm Geschichte6 and this is the Disappearing of Gensokyo. Last time, we were left with a choice of sealing Gensokyo or keeping it wide open. Obviously we're closing it off. That option had such a nice poster girl. Our opponent will be Dark Reimu or Black Reimu. DOG is actually very undecided on what to call this unpleasant incarnation of the Shrine Maiden. Going for the mentioned choice leads to a sudden change of heart for Tenshi. During the Moon arc, we were developing a soft spot for the Phantoms. I guess all of that is forgotten now. Dark Reimu wants to appeal to our conscience here. The people of the outside world have it hard and deserve the chance to make a good first impression. She wants us to imagine that we could be in their shoes. Tenshi does not need to hear it. She has always been mighty and able to solve her problems without the need of a greater hero than herself. At least if you don't count everyone we've recruited and who all perform better than her. Dark Reimu starts the fight similarly to her neutral original. She does, however, throw melee attacks in between her spread shots. It will always be a 3-hit combo before she stops. The strikes track you to a degree. You will have to dodge as they come. As always, new attacks are added soon. Among them is a large yin-yang meteorite. It is pretty slow and therefore easy to evade. The next move is more interesting. There is none other quite like it in the game. Third-dimensional invasion creates 4 Shinto gates that enemies step out of. These portals can be destroyed. It makes sense for Dark Reimu to have this power. She is, after all, the champion of the sinsacks. Chaos Fantasy Seal starts at 50% boss health and is always followed by Final Spark Dark. The first creates a damage field covering most of the arena. Once you've been forced into the safe center, you must then circle the spark on low distance. These 2 attacks are never repeated. It wouldn't be too bad if they were, as they're not actually the biggest problem of this fight. Oh no. During the final phase, this move right here is used. Certain kill, Evil Ghost's Rampage. The name is no false advertising. If you get caught by it, it's over. You cannot struggle free. Like Kokoro's spiderweb, it's effectively a one-hit kill. If you lose to one of Reimu's aspects, you do have the chance to choose another. I actually did that on my first playthrough. I got frustrated with my original pick, tried out the other, and ended up beating her fairly quickly. Our loss just then was infuriatingly close, by the way. Dark Reimu had almost no health left. Hopefully we can do just a tiny bit better now. This boss, more than any other, has her difficulty backloaded. How well you do in the early phases means little. Everything can crumble at the last second. We're about to get to the portal phase again. Do not keep your target on Dark Reimu during it. The gates will not go away on their own, and will spit out more powerful minions like fairies if they last too long. There's one right there. Chaos Fantasy Seal can be a beginner's trap. On my very first attempt, I stood far away from Dark Reimu. I died not realizing a damage field was under me. Final Spark Dark is surprisingly wimpy. It doesn't drain that much shield, even if you fumble on avoiding it like we just did. It's not actually that smart to deal too much damage during the spark phase. If you trigger Ghost's Rampage too early, the damage field might still be active as it happens. You want no distractions as the rampage is underway. Dark Remu will crash against the arena's walls 5 times. It's not an aimed attack. To where she ricochets depends on the angles she hits. I usually don't win until Dark Remu does her rampage a second time, but she tends to not last long after. She didn't here. We've done it. The villainous Dark Remu has fallen. One more thing, rampaging makes her invulnerable on top of everything else. You really want to hold your fire and concentrate on not getting caught. The chance of getting insta-killed is really the backbone of the fight. I would not call Dark Remu as challenging as Remilia. At best, she's on par with Junko. Most of it stems from the artificial unforgivingness. Dark Remu is now holding her dying speech. It does sound like we have genuinely killed someone. As she is fading, she curses our actions and tells us that a very special place in hell is reserved for us. Jeez, when did DOG get so edgy? Then again, there is no greater edge lady in this game than Dark Remu. We receive a completely unintended panty shot, I swear, and the second magic piece. The connection between the outside world and Gensokyo is then forever severed. That is how you're supposed to understand this cryptic cutscene. Now what is going on? What is this grey, overcrowded building? We are still Tenshi. Wait, no we're not. We are Tenshi cosplayer. Yes, this is the real world and the present. We are a visitor to a Touhou convention. Our new protagonist comes across as confused. Most of the other guests appear as sinsacks and clansmen. The one behind us can be approached, and he too behaves strangely. Apparently, both of them don't know what Touhou is. How do you find yourself in Tenshi's extravagant outfit by mistake? It's bizarre. Over to the side is the owner of a booth wearing a Remu cosplay. The displayed merchandise has artwork of DOG on it, so we can assume this Remu is a member of MyACG. How meta is that? They too seem to have forgotten all about Touhou. Alright, this is getting absurd. We're having a supernatural collective mind wipe. Did we enter the Twilight Zone or something? All of this is the result of our actions, more on that in a bit. You can faintly hear a song right now, probably only on your left ear. That is Poker Face. Remember when I told you it will play during Kokoro's boss fight on higher difficulties? I did hint you would hear it at some other point. We now stand in front of MyACG's main booth, and their scriptwriter is being a shameless pervert for White Tenshi. Remarkable is that he doesn't even know who White Tenshi is. Still, he's declared her his waifu. Is there such a thing as a shallow obsession? I really appreciate all the details of the booth, like the game's poster, and even the title screen of DOG can be seen on that monitor. In the corner on the right here is the person who took the biggest step for making what we're seeing possible. HJ is short for Hegistic, who is the producer at MyACG. Since Gensokyo is in it, it's not even possible to pronounce the name of this video game. We also commit the unforgivable sin of assuming the Touhou girls are original characters. What's next? That they're all from an anime? I think that might have already been said. If not, it's bound to come up. Something personal, when I initially stumbled upon Touhou, the first misinformation I got was that it's from Korea. I have no idea where I even read that anymore. This is worrisome. The whole convention seems to be in the grasp of this demential epidemic. Yuyuko and Yomu are 2 playable DLC characters, that's why we just saw a banner with them. Hey bro, wanna link the first flame? No, this is not Dark Souls. I've told you all that we're not going to call DOG the Dark Souls of anything. It's too bad I couldn't show you Clown Piece as a weapon. The best thing about her, she prances when she moves, makes these little hops. It's delightful. The booth up here belongs to Kyoto Fantasy Troupe and their animation Hifu Club Activity Record, The Sealed History Esoterica. If DOG is the most impressive fan work to come from China, Hifu Club Activity Record should hold a dignified second place. It's the most appropriate cameo imaginable. I think it spans 2 episodes so far. Wise Iku would surely understand what is going on, but sadly this is just a costumed enthusiast. A most unenthusiastic enthusiast, but even they feel that something strange and beyond their comprehension is happening. The name Tenshi Hinanai comes up, but it is only a flimsy straw that breaks upon our grasp. We cannot know that Tenshi is the most horrible brat, as bad as Lindsay Lohan. Poker Face gets louder the closer you are to the concert stage. They gave it this metallic filter to make it sound akin to a live performance. I find that pretty ingenious. It's actually possible to speak with the singer here, who should be Risa Yuzuki. Luckily the playback is covering in the meantime. One disclaimer. Don't ever interrupt vocalists in the middle of their performance for chit-chat. You will probably get jumped by security personnel and be banned from all future events. By the way, I once said Risa Yuzuki sings for Yuhei Satellite. That is mostly false, at best half correct. Formally, she is part of the Shoujo Fractal Circle, which is only closely tied to Yuhei Satellite, for example in that they share a web domain. Technically, they are very different entities. With that, our day at the THG03 convention ends. We are left in a state of confusion. What we experienced meant little to us. The scene fades, and we see a modern world that is a little poorer than our own, in that it has forgotten all about Touhou. Congratulations, you solved the incident. Did we really solve it? Should we pat ourselves on the back for that? You have just witnessed what is considered the bad ending to this game. The Disappearing of Gensokyo has concluded with Gensokyo disappearing. Who would have thunk it? When I say this was the bad ending and not just the ending, you can deduce that there is a better alternative. Somewhere along the way, we have made a mistake. It shouldn't be hard to pinpoint where it happened. There weren't many forks in the road. Anyway, we've botched it. This would be the typical moment where I summarize the Let's Play to you, give you an analysis, perhaps a recommendation to play the game, or a recommendation against that. We are not going to do any of that today. This staff roll that you're seeing, it would go on for about 4 more minutes. We are going to cut it short. We're even going to cut this lovely song short. It's Senya again, by the way, with Catastrophe of Bavagra, Wonderful Heaven. The reason we do that is because we're going to hear it again once we have set things right, and I vouch for that. Tell you what we'll do, we're going to forget all about what happened today. It was just a bad dream, a hallucination. We don't actually make such stupid decisions. There's going to be a time warp to the near past in the next episode, and Tenshi is going to do what she should have done. I'm sure it'll be a lot more satisfying. With that, I'm Gesh86, this was the Disappearing of Gensokyo, and next time, the true finale. Bis bald!